Oh, man, I'm so glad you could join us, especially because we're going into USC week. And as you know, USC week's always going to be memorable for the two of us because that's the very week you hosted me on my official visit. We both grew up playing high school football in Vancouver, Washington. We both wore number 61 for the Ducks. We both got to play offensive line in some of the most exciting years in Oregon history. So when people ask me how I became a Duck, you're one of the most influential people that, helped me make that decision. But our path to Eugene probably couldn't have been more different. Being a 2 or 3 star recruit from Skyview High School, what made you decide to go to the U of O? And what was it like being recruited by the Ducks in that 2003 class that included Dennis Dixon?
Yeah, no, good question, Nick. One of the things that made me choose the Ducks was it was my only option. So I was being recruited by a bunch of Big Sky schools like Montana and Portland State, Montana State, Eastern Washington, and Washington and Washington State had made the decision not to offer me a scholarship, and hadn't heard much from Oregon State at the time. Stanford was interested, but the brainiac that I am, I didn't qualify academically. So out of nowhere in December of 2002, Neil Zambukos, who was the offensive line coach there at the time, offered me a full scholarship. And so to your question, it was essentially the only option I had at the time, and it was a Pac-12, at the time Pac-10 school. Really cool uniforms. At the time, they still had cool uniforms. It's nothing like it was today, but very attractive program, and obviously it being my only Pac-12, Pac-10 offer, was kind of the default winner. And went down on a recruiting visit. I kind of got a taste as to what they were doing when they asked me to meet them at the PDX airport, got into a private jet. There was other recruits on the jet, all kinds of food, flew into Eugene on about a 20-minute flight, like a 14-passenger jet, and did my recruiting visit in December of 2012.
2012, huh?
I'm sorry, 2002.
Yeah.
And,
no, I got you.
Yeah, and walked onto the practice field, and Neil Zambukos, coach, ran over, gave me a big hug. They were preparing to play Wake Forest in the bowl game, and it was all pretty surreal at the time. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, from the standpoint of how's it going to go? Am I going to be able to compete at this level? There's a lot of unknowns. So, yeah, blind faith ended up working out pretty well for me. And then as far as Nick, I remember meeting Nick, and I was like, wow, who's this guy? He's in the weight room in the summer, Gold's Gym, and I met him, talked to him, and told me who he was and what he was doing, and just wanted to learn about offensive line play, and he was really eager to do drills and just learn some of the stuff that the college guys were doing. He's in there at 4 p.m. on a summer Tuesday or Sunday, and he's doing drills with me in the O-line room, and I realized that he was a hard worker. I said, hey, send me some tape. So he sent me a DVD copy of his Hawkinson Hawks. Is that your mascot, the Hawks?
Yeah, you got it, man.
Yeah, Hawkinson Hawks 2002 junior highlight tape, and I looked at him like, holy smokes, this guy can play. So I'll never forget, I took the tape into Steve Greatwood's office and put it on his desk, and I said, hey, you should look at this guy. I don't know that it was more than a week later that Nick had an offer from Oregon. Maybe it was a week or two.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but it was quite a process, and it just speaks to, it's like you never know who you're going to bump into and how that's going to, shape the future, because Nick certainly made a good first impression on me, and after watching his tape, I was like, gosh, this guy is a diamond in the rough, and the coach agreed and sent him down a full scholarship offer.
Real rough, though. Real rough, that rough was.